Talk about the transformation going from 155, crushing yourself, to get down to 155. You're a huge frame, and now becoming 4-0 at welterweight, looking phenomenal. The body transformation. Is fighting more fun? Is training more fun? How much more enjoyable is life now?
I honestly had thoughts of retiring after the Pettis loss. I was like, I'm just kind of done. I'm burned out on the sport. And, you know, after talking to my team and kind of like having them help me kind of identify what the problem is, it was the weight cut. You know, it's just hard when the first fight I ever fought in 2008 was at 155 pounds, and I was just so hell-bent on winning that title at 155, and I'm glad I didn't. I'm glad I didn't hang him up at 30 years old. I can tell you that much. So it was really just it's just giving me new life for the sport. It makes me enjoy training, and it helps me. You know, DC can attest to this. You know, we've talked about having fat camps before, and it's like you don't even really work on your skills or your game plan. You're just like, every practice is just so surrounded around cutting weight, and it just makes you burned out on the sport. So it's like, I feel like ever since I went to 170, I've just been reinvigorated. I feel like it's a whole new chapter in my career. That's why I don't feel like I've been in the UFC for 9 years. I feel like I've only been in the UFC for 3. It's like, I feel like this has just been a whole new journey for me. So like I said, it's still a weight cut to 170 pounds, as you can see it in my face and hear it in my voice. But I could tell you, if you could see me in the training room, I'm a totally different animal now.
Love it.
You've won 4 in a row now, and as we get to the matchup tomorrow night against Vicente, was he the logical next step in your pursuit of a championship? Because he seems to be the type of skill style that you have to beat in order to try to fight the champion Kamaru Usman. He has a lot of those same skills that you have to overcome if you want to fight the champ.
I mean, to be completely honest with you, after I saw Vicente beat Tyron Woodley, I just knew he was going to be the guy. I just knew where I was at in the division. I knew where he'd be in the division. And it's just a fight that makes sense. And I think for both of us, it's a big test for both of us on both sides of things. Like, you know, I haven't fought a striker with as much power and as devastating as he is. And in his career, you know, he hasn't fought a wrestler or a grappler like me. So I feel like I have more... I have some matchups in the past where there's some common ground, but with that, like RDA and Francisco Trinaldo, you know, they have similar styles to Vicente, you know, except they're southpaws. But you know, I need to fight a guy like Vicente if I want to get to the next level, and he needs to fight a guy like me. He needs to test himself against a good wrestler, against a good grappler, a guy that can dig deep and really drown someone for 15 minutes or more. So yeah, I think it's a good test for both of us.
Michael, as you just said, this is the test, right? This is the next big fight for you. And I thought it was really interesting to hear you talk this week about your focusing on staying humble. And, you know, you don't often hear fighters talk about humility before the fight. You know, you maybe hear it when they take a loss, but before the fight. Why is that word, why is that emotion so important to you coming into this fight?
It's just important because it's true to who I am. You know, I tried to play that role. You know, when I was doing the Kevin Lee press conference and that fight, and then the Anthony Pettis fight, I was trying to do the same thing, and that's just not really true to who I am. And truth be told, my uncle's a sports psychologist. He works for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Go Bucks! But you know, we've been having a lot of conversations, and you know, especially these last few fights. And it's just something that we talked about. It's like, I need to be, if you're a guy that, if you dwell on your accomplishments, that's your ego. If you dwell on the things you've done in the past, that's your ego. And that is not, that to me, that's not good to dwell on the things you've done in the past and things you've accomplished. If you look to the future, that's your pride. You know, and your pride can become your enemy if you're looking too far ahead instead of staying present in the moment. If you're present in the moment, that means you have a lot of humility and you're very humble. And it's actually, my uncle sent me an interview with Giannis after Game 5 of the championship, I think, and this is where I got this from. So I'm not trying to steal lines from the MVP, but you know, I got a lot of inspiration from that interview. It's like, wow, that's the best way to say it, and that's so true. I don't want to look ahead. I don't want to start talking about what if I get the 5-fight win streak, what comes next, who comes next. You know, it's like, no, I'm a humble guy. I recognize I have a very tall order ahead of me tomorrow night. I want to be humble. I want to be in the moment and take this day by day. Today, the focus was making weight. When we get to tomorrow, I will focus on the fight, and when that fight ends, I will see what happens thereafter.
Michael, I'm going to ask you to focus on a little game we like to call Fight Ghost Quarantine. Did we play this when you were doing the weigh-in show? Do you remember this?
I don't remember.
I'll refresh your memory. It's like the game F, Marry, Kill. Okay, I'm going to give you 3 guys. These are going to be 3 guys. You don't like, right? You're going to fight one, you're going to ghost one, and you're going to have to quarantine with another one. All right. So the guys are Colby Covington, Conor McGregor, and Kevin Lee.
Oh my goodness.
Ghost, fight, quarantine.
Dude, I would fight Colby, ghost Conor, and quarantine with Kevin Lee, surprisingly.
Yeah.
I don't really like Kevin that much. I see him at the
surprising.
PI all the time.
No way.
Didn't take the
I see Kevin at the PI all the time. He's a good sport. He's a good sport. He'd say the same thing I say. He's kind of a dork, but he's an all right guy.
Hey, Michael, thank you for the time, bro.